Hey, Doug Walker here. No Rob this time. So sorry he didn't make it to the screening. But yeah, I am just going to talk about Deadpool. Before I talk about the movie, I should talk about what I know about Deadpool, which actually isn't much. Every time I go to a con, there's like a million Deadpool, so I know he's a really popular character. I know he's aware he's a fictional character, so there's a lot of fourth wall jokes. I know he's like an action hero who can't or kind of an anti-hero, and he does a lot of comedy because he knows he's a character, and he can get shot and either doesn't feel the pain or heals up or something like that. And even then, I'm still not entirely sure. And he has a thing for chimichangas. That's about all I know. So in terms of does this represent the source material, whatever, I'm only guessing. But I am going to come at it just as a movie critic here, and as a movie like this goes, it's fine. It's got some laughs, it's got some good action, and that's about it. I think there's a lot of hype around this movie, and it in no way disappoints. I think it gives you exactly what you think you're going to get, and that's it. And the audience I saw it with was very, very excited and very happy to see it and laughing at every single joke and getting invested when it got dramatic. And yeah, I sort of saw it. I said, oh, that was fun. That was enjoyable. And I never need to see it again. It's one of those movies where I kind of thought maybe the humor was going to be even a little bit more, if that makes sense, kind of like Hot Fuzz, or World's End, where there's just so many jokes being thrown at you, and they're good jokes. They're good in the moment jokes, and they're good fourth wall breaking jokes. But yeah, I think the one weakness it has, and I say this in my bum review too, is that when it needs to be a regular movie, like when it needs to do the dramatic stuff, it's not bad by any means, but it's very standard. This is very much the kind of movie you see where those movies you see advertised where they always take place at night and it's lit by street lights and someone's wearing a hat like this, it's really muscle bound and getting revenge because somebody did him wrong or kidnapped his girl or something like that or killed his dog, some weird crap like that. And it's just them going around with guns and shooting guys, except there's a few superheroes in it and fourth wall jokes. Not even that many superheroes, but weird ones that they pick too, and I don't know if this ties into the comic because we have Colossus from X-Men and some other one I don't recognize. She had some sort of long, elaborate name, but they were both really cool. Honestly, I feel like this is kind of the best X-Men movie we've gotten yet, because when Colossus comes out, he's Russian, he looks like Colossus, he's the size, he has the personality, he's kind of, just very, very nice and very, just almost gentlemanly and almost very simple, and that kind of felt like what Colossus was. He's not just a big muscle guy who's, I can help you, and that's it. He's Russian, he's all these things, and there's a scene where he's just watching TV, and the teen girl that can blow up, I forget her name, not Jubilee, a different one, much cooler one, they're just watching TV and goes, oh, we should go help, and they just go get the Blackbird and fly out. I sort of felt like, yeah, that's X-Men, that's comic books, and this is very much a comic book movie. Like I said, with a lot of these breaking the fourth wall jokes, and so I like that, and I like a lot of the like I said, a lot of the humor. There's a romance between Ryan Reynolds and the other lead. I don't know her name, sorry. But they have legitimately good chemistry. They're both kind of nutty and make these one-liners, but she's not just a carbon copy of him either, which is nice. She's her own unique character. The villain's pretty standard. The side characters, the help is pretty standard. It's funny because this movie actually opens up, it has the funniest opening credits, where the credits are just, they don't say who the actual people are, they just sort of say their roles, like starring, a douchebag who's paid too much, or the comic relief, or a CGI character. Like, they're saying all this stuff you see in a million movies, and you're gonna see it in this movie too. So it's, I don't know, maybe that's kind of like the secret genius of it, is that it actually is just an unbelievably standard movie that just has such a good sense of humor that it's kind of like, you kind of take it. But the humor doesn't go through all the way through, and I don't think that's what Deadpool was, from what I understand. I don't think it was 100% comedy. It is still a comic book film. It is still about revenge. It is still about kicking ass and a lot of cool stunts and powers and stuff. And people looking really, pained and angsty and going, no! All of that stuff. So that's all in there. And yeah, I guess maybe I thought it was going to be a little bit more unique in that sense. I mean, I hear Deadpool, one of his big comedic things is that he constantly compares himself to other characters, like Spider-Man or Wolverine, because he can heal up, and then Spider-Man because it kind of looks like Spider-Man. So maybe that's kind of the thing. Maybe they know they're kind of stealing from all these other things, and they're kind of having fun with it. But if it was taking itself pretty seriously. But I don't know, I guess something like Darkman does something kind of similar. It doesn't have fourth wall jokes, but it's this very obvious standard plot that you've seen in comic books a million times, but it gives it its own unique spin. So yeah, I think when it sort of came around to being like this dramatic film, the part where you're supposed to really care, with the exception of the romance, which surprisingly I really bought the chemistry, I thought everything else was just kind of standard, like I've seen it a lot. There's even one or two times where I was kind of like, okay, where's the... Can you look at the camera again? but it's good. I guess I thought maybe I'd get something a little bigger or even more jokes flying out at you, but I'll be honest, I'm probably really spoiled with what I thought this was going to be, because like I said, I mean, I am thinking kind of like the Cornetto trilogy or Hot Fuzz or something like that, where there's just going to be a ton of jokes. And there are a fair amount of jokes, and very clever jokes. There's the opening credits, like I said, are very funny. There's a great scene where he spells out the bad guy's name. I won't give it away. Some really funny one-liners. So, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun shoot-'em-up action flick with some funny lines, a butt ton of in-jokes, as you'd imagine, and most of them I got. There's one or two, like he meets a guy who's like his best friend, I think called Bob or something like that, and the audience just said, "Wow!" like that. I went, huh? And these guys in front of me were trying to tell me, it's like, no, it's like his best friend from long ago. He's the one that always gets him in trouble. He's the one. And I'm like, okay, well, what? You got it. You're the people that this is made for, and that's what matters. And that's what I feel like. I feel like the crowd that saw this really, really liked it, really got into it, and really laughed at like every joke. And they applauded at the end. They waited, like nobody left before the credits stopped. Like everybody stayed because they knew there was going to be something at the end. So I think that's the kind of people this was made for. It was made for fans. It kind of feels like a fan movie. I took my wife to go see it, who, she liked it fine, but there's a lot of times where she's like, what's that? I don't know that. What does that mean? What does that, there's references to Wolverine Origins and the Stan Lee cameo and stuff, so there's all this stuff that, unless you know Marvel and comic book movies and stuff like that, you're not gonna get. This is very much, it feels like a fan film, but kind of the right kind of fan film. So, yeah, it's fun. Probably as anticlimactic a review as you can get. I don't love it, but I thought it was, I thought it was fun. It was an enjoyable film. So, not much else I can say outside of that. I'm not going to do a spoiler corner because there's really nothing to spoil. I mean, like, what you guess is going to happen is exactly what happens. But again, that's not the kind of movie it is. It's there for the jokes. It's there to get this incredibly popular character on the big screen. And it seems like it's done well. All the cosplayers I see at cons and the way they all act like this asshole. So I'm assuming this is what the character is like. So yeah, if you're looking for some good laughs and some fun action and just CG superheroes jumping around, punching stuff, this is great. It's a lot of fun, and it's gory, and there's, it's raunchy. It definitely earns its R rating. So, yeah, that's about it. Take it for what it's worth, and I will see you later. Take care.